Swipe Up, episode 241, the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor. Google removes slavery simulator game amid outrage in Brazil. Google has removed a highly controversial game called Slavery Simulator from its App Store following its outrage in Brazil. The game allowed players to buy and sell black characters and inflict torture on them. The game had been downloaded over 1,000 times before it was removed. It was launched by Magnus Games back in April 20th of this year, so it's fairly new to the App Store. Brazil is a country with a history of slavery, not unlike the United States, that was deeply affected by the game's content. The developer boasts about the ability to exchange, buy, and sell slaves in the game. Users were given the option to either liberate the enslaved characters or continue using them for personal gain. Like just the capitalist's view of slavery. You could save them, you can let them go, or you can continue to exploit them and make a lot of money. What would you want to do? And I would imagine anybody that wanted to download the slavery game are people that are probably wanting to participate in slavery. So I would imagine the option to liberate was probably a very underused option in this game. I mean, this is a game that really speaks to a very specific market of people. Generally, I would imagine people who consider slavery more of a beneficial capitalist maneuver than a disgusting, horrific, evil thing to do to a human being. Because the game had 4-star rating out of 5 and received criticism. The criticism this game received was for not having enough torture options. So those were the kinds of people who were downloading this game. The people that weren't looking to liberate. Social media users expressed anger, and prominent politicians called for the tech companies to be held to a higher standard. Brazil's public prosecutor opened an investigation into how the game was allowed on the Google Play Store to begin with. A Google spokesperson said that the Play Store does not allow apps that promote violence or incite hatred against individuals or groups based on race or ethnic origin, or that depict or promote gratuitous violence or other dangerous activities. It really sounds like Google allowed an app to do all of those things that it supposedly says is not allowed. It sounds like a game that should never have existed in the Google Play Store, but did. Something that literally checked off all of those things that it doesn't want to have. The Ministry of Racial Equality arranged a meeting with Google to establish anti-racist content moderation policies, and developers may face legal consequences. More than 4 million enslaved people were taken to Brazil in the course of the country's history. In 1822, 1.5 million of the 3.5 million people living in the country were enslaved. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, it's disgusting. The fact that it was on the Google Play Store is horrible enough. Clearly, they're not doing much to vet the apps that they... I mean, Google should be held liable for this as well. Almost more so than the developer of the app. Yeah, the developer of the app's a horrible person. Clearly, we see their politics. But it's Google's responsibility for not vetting a game that literally goes against their supposed rules and regulations. But of course, Google is a much bigger corporation than the developers of this game. So I'm sure Google won't face anything. And if they do face any fines, it is like a drop in the bucket. Fines for major corporations are just the price of doing business. They're not punishments whatsoever. So anyway, that story, sources, bbc.com. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Swipe Up. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and insights on the latest news and entertainment updates. Please join the conversation by leaving a comment or rating on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. And I remind you again, you don't have to threaten to kill me. Shooting me with a gun only makes you seem more cowardly. I'll see you next Thursday for more unfiltered opinions and fresh perspectives.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.